Okay, I think I am live. Can anyone confirm in the chat box, please? Yeah, okay. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, so we can start the session for now. Yeah, so hello and welcome to this session. स्वागत है आप सभी का आज के सेशन में. Today's session is on interest, right? So I hope you must be following us on this channel. So we are bringing so many free. Just a second. Yeah. So we are bringing so many free sessions for you. So if you are preparing for this IIM Bangalore's UG admission test, so these sessions will be very helpful for you. I hope you are following us on this channel. And if you have come for the very first time, then I would request you to subscribe to this channel so that you are not missing out on any video. And you will be able to find all the sessions that have already been conducted. Yes. So I think because I'm live and everything is perfect, so we can start with the session for today with interest. Okay. So before we begin, I have a few updates for you. Okay. So of course, today's topic is interest. Yeah. So this is the first update for you. Again, hope my screen is clearly visible to you. Just a second. Yeah. So that was the final confirmation. So this is the first update for you. So you can just, if you are preparing for this exam, IIM Bangalore UG admission test, or maybe if you are preparing for IPMAT also, then you can just consider joining the WhatsApp channel. All the important updates will be shared. All the important updates as well as the free preparation resources will be shared on that WhatsApp group. Link is of course in the description box of this video. So I would recommend you to just join that channel, and you will also get to interact with other students who are also preparing for this exam. So it will be a good environment to prepare with other students also. Like if you are preparing for the exam and other students who are also preparing, you can interact with them. Like, so it will be a good environment for you to join that WhatsApp group. Link is of course in the description box of this video. So this was the first update for the day. Yeah, and also there are free 5 mock tests that we are providing. All you need to do is just go to this website cracku.in/IIM Bangalore UG mock test, and you can attempt the 5 free mock tests. Okay, or you just go to this website and you need to register yourself, and you can attempt these mocks for free. These mocks are prepared by experts, so this will also be very helpful for you. Okay, so these are the 5 mock tests, and you can just attempt by going to this website cracku.in/IIM Bangalore UG mock test. Okay, so yeah, this was the update. Yeah, so now we have come to the topic for today, that is simple and compound interest. So whenever you will be studying simple and compound interest, these are the basic terms that you will see. So just giving the brief introduction about these terms. I hope you must have studied during your school time also. Just giving a brief introduction before we move on to questions. Okay, so the first term is principal. Of course, whatever money you are lending to someone, let's say if you are lending some money to your friend, or let's say you are taking some loan from the bank, so whatever that money is, we call it as principal. Okay, whatever money is being lent, or let's say if you are taking a loan from some bank, or the basic calculation is done on the principal itself. So that is the basic meaning of principal. Okay, rate of interest, of course, the interest percentage for 1 year. Let's say for example, if you are taking 1000 rupees, or let's say you are lending 1000 rupees to your friend at 10% rate of interest. So after 1 year, whatever interest he will give to you, that will be rate percentage for 1 year. So because let's say if we are taking rate percentage to be 10%, then 10% of 1000, that is 100 rupees he will give you extra, right? So apart from principal, that is 1000, because you have given your friend 1000, so he will return 1000, and apart from 1000, whatever money he will be giving you, that is the interest, and also whatever the interest is for 1 year, it is called rate percent. Okay, so I can take the example here also. Let's say if the okay, let's say the principal amount is 1000 and the rate percent is 10%. So in 1 year the interest will be 10% of 1000, that is 100 rupees, right? So whatever you interest you will be getting in 1 year is called rate percent. Okay, so that is the rate percent. Time, of course, if you are lending the money for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, so whatever the time is, it is the third term, that is the time for whatever time you have lending. If you are lending money or if you are taken loan from the bank, so whatever the time duration is, it is called as term or time. Of course, I've already told you about the interest. So I, that is interest, along with the principal. Let's say you have given some money, you have lent some money to your friend. So along with the principal amount, whatever extra amount that he will be giving to you, that you will earn from that particular transaction, is known as interest. Okay, and the last thing is amount. So the principal that you have lent plus the interest that you have got from this particular transaction is known as amount. I hope this was very basic, so I should not waste a lot of time on this particular slide. But still, if you have anything to ask regarding this slide, you can just ask in the chat box so that we can move ahead. Okay, I think, yes, this was not clearly visible, right? So I should write a bit upper. Okay, but if there are no doubts, so that we can move ahead. Okay, so yeah, like I told you, there are two types of interest. One is simple interest and the other one is compound interest. So starting with simple interest, as the name suggests, it is simple, right? So let's understand it with the help of an example. So of course, this is the basic formula for simple interest, that is principal into rate into time divided by 100. Okay, so I can write it here. So simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So this is the basic formula for simple interest, and you will be able to solve almost all of the questions that are from simple interest using this particular formula. Okay, I have taken one example also for you. Let's say the money that is lent out is 1000 and rate percentage is 10%. Then the interest percentage for 1 year will be 1000 into 10, that is this, into 1 divided by 100, that is 100. Okay, so one more important thing is regarding simple interest is that the interest remains same for all the years. What does that mean? Okay, right, let me write it here. Let's say for the same case, here the money lent was 1000. So let's say I lend the money for 3 years. Okay, so let's say the time period is for 3 years. So the interest will be 1000 into rate of interest is 10 into 1 divided by 100. So that will come out to be 100, right? So this 100 will be constant for all the 3 years. For the first year also you will earn an interest of rupees 100. For the second year also you will earn an interest of rupees 100. For the third year also same. This will continue. The only condition is if the rate of interest, the rate percent is same for all the years, then the interest will also be same. So this is the meaning of basic simple interest. Okay, I think this should be also clear. If you have any doubts, otherwise we can move to the next slide. Okay, I hope there are no doubts. Okay, so let me take an example where the rate percent is different. Let's say for the first year, the rate percent is 10%. So it will be 1000 into 10 into 1 divided by 100 for the first year. If for the second year, let's say the rate percent is 20%. So for the second year, it will be 1000 into 20 into 1 divided by 100. Okay, important thing is that the principal remains the same. The principal does not change. In the compound interest, we will study in the next slides, and the principal is getting changed. But for the simple interest, the principal remains the same. It is just that the rate percentage might be changed, or generally it remains the same, but in some cases it might change. But the principal remains the same. Okay, so if in the same case, let's say for the second year, the rate percent is 20%. So what you can do is 1000 into 20 into 1 divided by 100, that is 200. Okay, but the principal remains the same. Okay, so this was about simple interest. So the principal remains the same, and in most cases the rate percent will also be the same. So you can just directly apply this formula, or you can understand with the basic understanding that the interest remains the same for all the years. Okay. If it is clear, we can move ahead to the next slide. If you have any doubts, you can just ask in the live chat. Okay, I don't think there are any doubts. So we can move ahead. Okay. Swastika Pandey, what is a good score on the mocks? See, this is the first time this exam is being conducted, so we can't really predict, right? Okay. So moving ahead to the next, if you don't have any doubts. Okay, so coming to the compound interest, as the name suggests, it is not simple, right? It is compound. And the basic understanding of compound interest is that it is the interest on interest, or it works on the successive percentage. So what does that mean? Let's try to understand this with the help of an example. Let's say, taking the same example, if I take principal, okay, if I take principal as 1000 and I take rate as 10%. Okay, so I'm writing it down. Okay, so for the first year, see, for the first year, the simple interest as well as compound interest remains the same. From the second year, it will change. Okay, so how will it change? We'll understand it. See, for the first year, the interest remains the same, and also you will very frequently see the formula for amount is A is equal to P 1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power n. But what is the basic understanding? Let's say I take the time period to be 3 years. So the principal is 1000, rate is 10%, and the time period is 3 years. So interest will be 1000. So not, we can't do it like this. Okay. So see the because the principal is 1000, so interest will be 10% of 1000, that will eventually give us 100. So the interest will be 100 for the first year. Okay, so for the first year the interest will be 100. So we are talking for 3 years, so the first year it will remain the same as the simple interest, it will be 100. And for the second year also, the first 100 will be calculated on the principal itself, but because in compound interest it is interest on interest. Okay, so whatever interest you have got in the first year, you will calculate 10% of that also, that is 10% of 100. So 10% of 100 will be 10 divided by 100 into 100, that is 10. So this will be the extra interest that you will be getting in case of compound interest. Same for the third year also, right? See, this 100 is common, so this, the first row that you are seeing, this is simple interest, that is common for all the years. But apart from the simple interest that you are getting, you will be getting interest on the whatever interest you have already got. Okay, so this is the 100, right? This is on the principal. Apart from this, for this first 100, so this is the 100 that you got in the first year, so you will be getting interest on this also. So 10% of 100 is 10. Now again for the second year, you will be getting 10% of this value, that is 10% of 100, that is again 10. And now for this value also, you will be getting 10% of 10, that is 10 divided by 100 into 100, you will be getting 1. Okay, so you will be getting interest on the interest also. So total interest that you have got here is, interest is equal to, this will be 300. So this is common for simple interest, right? So this is what we calculate for the simple interest, and this is the extra interest that you have got for 2 years, for 3 years, sorry. So this will be 331, right? So this is the 331. So in case of simple interest, only these values would have worked, right? Because these values are calculated on the principal, so only these values would have worked for simple interest. But in case of compound interest, you are getting interest on interest. So whatever interest you have got in the previous years, you will calculate the rate percentage on that value, that interest also, to get the extra interest that you will get in the compound interest cases. Okay, so I hope this should be clear. If you have any doubts, you can just ask. Okay, if there are no doubts. So this was about the compound interest, and also to calculate the amount, you can directly use the formula that amount is equal to principal. So amount is equal to principal 1 plus rate divided by 100 raised to power n. Here n is the number of years, okay, that we call term. R is rate percent. So for this case itself, the case that we have taken here, so principal is 1000, rate is 10%, so 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to power 3. So by using this formula you will be able to calculate the amount. So here I is the interest, but we need to find the amount. So let me get some space here. Okay, I hope this was clear, so I am erasing it. Okay, so using this particular formula you can calculate the amount, that is A is equal to P, we have P as 1000, so 1000 in bracket, so we can just solve this, 0 and 0 will cancel out, so 1 plus 1 by 10, that is 11 by 10, so this will be 11 divided by 10 raised to power 3. So cube of 11 is 1331. I hope you must be knowing the squares and cubes, right? This will help you in doing your calculations quickly. Okay, so this is 1000 multiplied by 1331, or you can use the calculator also, because in this exam you will be getting calculator, but if you know the basic calculation like squares and cubes, it will just help you in your calculations. Okay, so it will be divided by 1000, so this will cancel out, so you are getting 1331. So you can notice here is that you know the principal is 1000, so amount will be 1000 plus interest, like we got here the interest as 331, so this is 1331 that you have got using this formula. So there is no direct formula to calculate the interest. What you can do is you can just use the formula of amount, that is P 1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power n, and after that you can just subtract the principal to get the interest if you are asked to calculate the interest. Okay, I think this should be clear regarding this. Okay, Bruce, another question please. I didn't get compound interest with the first method. See, I hope it should be clear now, but I'll take one more example. I'll clear this for you. See, basically compound interest means, see, you must have understood the concept of simple interest. Whatever interest you have got, you are earning interest from the second year on the interest you have already earned in the first year, and so on for the third year and fourth year also. So let's say I'm taking another example. Let's say the principal is 2000. Okay, and rate of interest is, again, let's say I'm taking 10%. So likewise for the first year you will be getting 10% of 2000, that is 200. So this will be common for all the years. So this is first year, this is second year, this is third year. So even though you can just use this formula directly, that amount is equal to P1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power n, and you can subtract the principal to get the interest. But just for the understanding, if you want to see how to calculate the interest, so you can use this kind of a structure. So the first value will be remaining the same, because you know that the simple interest remains same for all the years. So the first value will remain the same, that is 10% of 2000, that is 200. Okay, so this will remain the same, and after this whatever extra you will be getting, that is compound interest, that is interest on interest. In the first year you got interest of 200, so for the second year you will be getting extra 10% of 200, that is 20, 10% of 200, and for the third year you have already got 200, now you will be getting extra 10% from on all the values that you have already earned, right? So in 200 you will be getting extra 10%, that will be 200 on this particular value. Now you will be getting this 10% on this value also, that is 20, and now you will be getting 10% on this value also, that is 2. So this, the initial row, this is for simple interest, that is calculated only on the principal, and this is the extra interest that you are getting in case of compound interest. Okay, I hope this should be clear now with the help of this example, so that we can move ahead. Okay, if there are no doubts, we can move ahead to the next slide. Okay, and there is one more important thing here, that is scaling factor. Okay, there's one more important concept of scaling factor. So let's try to get the understanding of scaling factor. So when we are scaling factor works for compound interest, because in the simple interest it is just the kind of addition, but in compound interest the money is getting multiplied. Okay, so here you can see that we know that the formula for amount is principal 1 plus r divided by 100 raised to the power n. So this is called the scaling factor. So with whatever factor the amount is getting multiplied is known as a scaling factor. Okay, so like in the last case, or let's say the example that is given here, we can use the same example. So amount is equal to p 1 plus r divided by 100 raised to power n. So we will be using the same example. So if let's say the principal is 1000 and the rate is 10%, so 1 plus 10 divided by 100, for 1 year it will be 1000 multiplied by 11 by 10, right? 1 plus 1 by 10 is 11 by 10. Okay, and for the second year, let's say it is for 2 years, so for the same you can use 1000 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to power 2, that is 10 plus 1, that is 11. So 11 by 10, square of 11 by 10, that is 121 by 100. That will be equal to 121 divided by 100. Okay, I hope this should be clearly visible. So this is basically the scaling factor with which the principal is getting multiplied. And also you can notice this with the example that I took in the last slide. This is basically 1.1, 11 by 10 is 1.1, and the second value is 1.21. Okay, I'm writing it here. This is 1.21. Okay, so the example that I took in the last slide, that the principal is 1000, and let's say I'm writing it for 4 years. So principal is 1000, or let's say I take a larger value, principal as 10,000, and rate I'm taking as 10%. So for the first year it will be 1000 because it is 10,000. So 1000 will remain same because it is the simple interest, right? So this is the case for simple interest. 1000 will remain constant for all the 4 years, and from the second year onwards you will be getting interest on interest. So on this particular value, that is 1000, you will be getting extra 10%, so that will be 100. Okay, and for the third year you will be getting extra 10%, firstly on this particular value itself, that is 100, then on this value, that is again 100, then on this value, that is 10, right? 10% of 100 is 10. And for the fourth year you will be first getting extra interest for this particular value, that is initial value, again this, that is 100. Okay, now you will be getting, say first was 100 on this particular interest, that is first one. Now you will be getting extra on this interest, so this will be 100. Now on this 1000 it will be 100. Now on this 100 it will be 10, this 100 it will be 10, this 100 it will be again 10, and on this 10% will be 1. Okay, so now you can notice here is that the first value was 1000, the second value is 1000 plus 100, that is 1100, the third value is 1210. Okay, these are the values that we are getting, and the fourth value will be 331, so 1311. Writing it here, 1331. So one thing you can notice here, that it is getting multiplied by same value, that we call a scaling factor. So you can notice here is that the scaling factor for our condition was 1.1, that is the principal is getting multiplied by 1.1 every year. So here from 1000 it was getting multiplied by 1.1, so we got the interest for the 2 years as 1100. So again it will be getting multiplied by 1.1, so 1000 into 1.1 will be 1100, then 1.1 will be getting multiplied by 1100, it will come out to be 1210, and again with the same scaling factor you can multiply it and the value will come out to be 1331. Okay, so this is the basic concept of a scaling factor. So whatever rate percent is, the principal amount gets multiplied by the same term, right? So this is the basic explanation of the scaling factor. So you can apply this in case of compound interest, because in compound interest the money gets multiplied, unlike simple interest in which we just see addition, right? So I hope this should also be clear. If you don't have any doubts, so that we can move ahead. So this was basic understanding of scaling factor. Okay, let's move ahead if you don't have any doubts. Okay, so let's try to understand the basics about installment also. So whenever we are lending some money, or let's say you are taking some loan from a bank, and you say that okay, I will be returning money in some installments. Let's say you took a money from bank account, let's say the sum is P, and you're saying that in 3 years you will be returning the money in equal amounts. For example, every year you will be paying some I value, and you will be paying for 3 years, and you will be clearing your loan. So the equal amounts that you will be paying for all the 3 years is called installments. Okay, so this was the basic understanding of installments, and you can see this in both the cases. In case of simple interest also you can find installments. In case of compound interest also you can find this installments. See, in the simple interest you can just remember the direct formula, that is debt, whatever money you have to pay, multiplied by 100 divided by t, that is time, multiplied by 100 plus series into r. So what does that series mean? So let's say if you have to pay total of 4 installments, so series will be 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, if let's say the total installments, if you are paying, let's say, are 6, so you can just add till 5. That is the basic meaning of series. If there are only 2 installments, then it will be 0 plus 1. Okay, this is the basic understanding of series, and all the other terms I guess you are already familiar. So this is the debt that you are paying, this is the time for which you have lent the money, this is the rate of interest, and the series is this. To calculate the installment in case of simple interest, you will be given, let's say you are given all these things, you can just calculate installment, or if you are given installment, then you must be asked one of these values, and so you can just use this formula and you can calculate it. Okay, so this was basic about simple interest installment. See, in case of compound interest, for equal installment we can just use the concept of scaling factor, right? So in case of scaling factor, like I told you, that amount is equal to T principal 1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power n. So this was the basic understanding of how we will be calculating amount. So if, because this is the scaling factor, let's say the rate of interest is 10%, so it will be 1 by 10, right? 10 divided by 100 is 1 by 10. So the money will be getting multiplied by 11 by 10. So these are the ratios. These ratios tell us that if the principal is 10, then the amount will be 11 in 1 year in terms of ratios. Okay, so if you are lending, let's say if you are talking that tell me some values that can represent that rate of interest is 10% for 1 year, so you can say that if you are giving a principal of 10, then the amount will be 11 in terms of ratios, right? So if you are given that okay, the principal is 50, what is the amount, you can just convert this into 50, or you can just connect it to 50, you can just multiply it by 5 and you will be getting the amount. Okay, and you can also calculate the interest. So, amount minus principal will give you interest. Okay, so this is the basic understanding about how you can represent the values in terms of the scaling factor. So using the same example for compound interest, let's say the rate of interest is 10% for 2 years. So for 1 year it will be from 10 to 11, right? If the principal is 10, then the amount will be 11 in terms of ratio. For 2 years it will be 10 square, 11 square. How we are getting a square? Like I told you for the case of amount. So if it is for 2 years, then it will be P 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to power 2, that is P. This will cancel out. So this will be 10 plus 1, that is 11. So 11 by 10 square, right? So from here we are getting a square. So if it is for 2 years, you can just do squares. If it is for 3 years, you can just do cube, and so on. So here you can notice is that here you can notice that the principal is 10 and the amount that you will be returning is 11, and for 2 years it is 100 to 121. But in case of equal installment you need to pay the same amount, right? So you can just multiply the ratios to make the amount same. So what you can do is you can just multiply this by 11, so you will be getting 110, 121 and 100 and 121. So you can just multiply, and now you can see that the amount that you are returning is same, because in compound interest you will be asked that if the principal is paid in equal installments, then you will be given one value and you will be asked one value, right? So now you have made the installment same. So if the principal was 210, then the each installment will be 121. So one value will be given and you will be asked one value. So you can just multiply the value whatever is given. Let's say if you are given that the installment that you are paying is 242, just for example. So you can just see that, okay, if the installment is 242, so it is connecting at 2, so you can just multiply it by 2. Same way you can multiply 2 here, so you will be getting 420. So if they are saying that the rate of interest is 10% and you are paying an installment of 120, you are paying an installment of 242, so what will be the principal? So you can say the principal will be 420. Okay, so likewise with the help of just the ratios you will be able to solve the questions of installment. Same is the and for the simple interest you can just use the direct formula, that depth into 100 divided by time into 100 plus series into R. Series is basically this: if the installments are 5, then you can just add from 0 to 4. If the installments are 3, you can just add from 0 to 2. Okay, just one less than the number of installments. And the second was the case for compound interest. I hope this should be clear. If you have any doubts regarding compound interest installments, you can just ask. Otherwise we will move to the next slide. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, we'll be moving ahead. Okay. Okay, so this is the first question for the day. Try this. You can put the answer in the comment box. Okay, let's attempt this question. Yeah. So in this question we are given that Ramu tells investors that his business can double the investment if invested at some rate of compound interest for 2 years. What is the annual rate of interest Ramu is offering to the investors? Okay, so in this question we can basically use the formula of amount, that A is equal to P1 plus R divided by 100 raised to the power n. Okay, so in this question we are given that the investment is getting doubled. Investment is getting doubled means amount is 2 times of principal. Then only you can say that the investment is getting doubled, right? So the principal that you're investing is getting doubled, so the amount is 2 times of principal. So substituting it here, I can see that it will be 2P is equal to P1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power n. So p and p will cancel out, and again I also know the value of n, that is for 2 years. So I can just put the value here as 2. Okay, so this will be equal to 2 1 plus r divided by 100 square. I can just do the square root. So in the left hand side it will be square root. So 1 plus r divided by 100. Okay, solving it further, it will give me I hope it is clearly visible. Okay, it will give me root 2 is equal to 1 plus r divided by 100. I can just take the 1 to the left hand side. So it will be root 2 minus 1 is equal to r divided by 100. So r will be equal to root 2 minus 1 into 100. Okay, and the value of root 2 is approximately 1.414. So I can just put the value of root 2. It will be 1.414 minus 1 multiplied by 100. Okay, so it will be 0.414 multiplied by 100, or 41.4%. If you don't know the value of root 2, you can still use the calculator. There is nothing to worry about. So for this question, the answer will be option number B, that is 41.4%. Yeah. Swastika Pandey, your answer is correct. It is B. So if you don't have any doubts regarding this question, so that we can move to the next question. Okay. Try this second question for the day. Because the time is up, let's attempt this question. So in this question, we are told that, just a second. Yeah, Daniel borrowed a certain sum at simple interest at some rate and lent it at the same rate but charged compound interest. He lent the amount for a period of 2 years. If the rate of interest is 10%, what is Daniel's profit as a percentage of total amount he has to repay? Okay. So let's say we are assuming some values. Let's say the principal is 100. Let's take some values to make a calculation easy. Let's say the principal is 100. Okay, rate of interest is given us to as 10%. So rate is 10%. So for 2 years, the simple interest will be, of course, P, that is 100 into R into 2 divided by 100, that is 20. So this is the simple interest. Okay, and now he is lending the same money at compound interest. So for compound interest, either you can use the formula that A is equal to P 1 plus R divided by 100 raised to power 2. So I'm telling you using both the ways. So A, yes, so A is equal to P 1 plus r divided by 100 raised to power 2. So it will be 100 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to power 2, that is 100 multiplied by, so it will be 11 by 10, so 121 by 100, so it will be 21. So this will be the compound amount, that is 121. So compound interest will be 121 minus 100, that is 21. So this is the compound interest. And the other method that I was telling you was that you can just write it in this manner. Let's say the principal is 100. So the interest that you will be getting is 10% of the principal, that is 10 as well as 10. But for the second year, because in case of compound interest, you earn the you earn 10% extra on the whatever interest you have already earned, right? So 10% of this 10 you will also earn, that will be equal to 1. So in total you will be getting interest of 21. Same you have got from this, same you can use this way also. So I guess this should be clear. So this is the compound interest. Now we are asked to calculate Daniel's profit as a percentage of total amount he has to repay. So he will have to repay because he has borrowed the money as simple interest. So he will have to repay 100, that is the principal, plus 20. So he will be giving 120 back, right? So his profit is, because he has earned 121, so 1 rupee profit he will be getting, right? 120 is the money that he will be returning to his friend, and 121 is all the total money he has got from compound interest. So rupees 1 extra that he is getting is his profit, right? So profit percentage will be, in terms of percentage, it will be 1 divided by 120, because it is asked that percentage of the total amount he has to repay, right? So it will be calculated on whatever he is repaying, and he will repay 120, right? So into 100, so this will come out to be, we can just cancel out with 20, that is 5, that is 6. So 5 by 6%, or 0.83% approximately. Okay, so it should be option number C. Yes, Swastik Pandey, your answer is correct. And also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, then I will recommend you to subscribe to this channel, so that you are not missing out on any session that we are conducting this series for free, right? It helps us also. Okay, so this was all about this question. Moving on to the next question. Try this. You can try this question. Okay, the time is about to end. Let's try this question. Okay, so in this question we are told that Mahesh borrows a certain sum of money from a money lender at 10% per annum simple interest. He lends the amount at 10% per annum compound interest for a period of 3 years. He earns rupees 527 in the process. How much did Mahesh owe to money lender by the end of 3 years? Okay, so again let's try to do with the help of some values. We'll assume some values. Let's say the principal is 1000. Okay, so now the rate of simple interest is 10%. So let's form the structure. So this is first year, this is second year, and this is third year. So every year he will be earning a interest of 10%. So 10% of 1000 is 100. This will be 100 and this will be same, right? Simple interest is same for all the years, and now the compound interest will be extra interest on the interest that he has already earned. So thus in the second year he will earn 10% of 100, that is 10, and in the third year he will be earning 10% of this all interest. So the first value will be 10% of this initial 100, that is 10, then 10% of this value, that is again 10, and then 10% of this 10, that is 1, right? So this value, that is initial value, this is the simple interest, and the total whatever you are able to see the interest is compound interest. Okay, so whatever he is earning, so we need to find what he is able to earn in this process. So because he has lent the money as simple interest, so he will be returning this 300, and he will be right, and he will be getting this extra. So this is the 31 that he is getting extra. So this is his profit, right? So the value of 31 which he is earning is given us to be 527. So this is the extra that he is getting from this transaction, and this is his profit. So value of 31 is 527. So we can see how, at what value it is getting connected, because we have lent some values in terms of ratios, right? So now we can see at what value it is getting connected. So this is 527. The value of 1 will be 527 divided by 31. So I can just do the calculation now. So 527 divided by 31, this is 17. Okay, so this is 17. So the value of 1 is 17. So value of 1 is 17. So the value of principal, that is 1000. So principal will be 17 times 1000, that is 17,000. Let's see what we are asked to calculate. Is it principal? How much did Mahesh owe to money lender by the end of 3 years? So we are not asked to calculate the principal. We are asked to calculate what money he will be owing to the money lender. So if this is the principal, so he will be giving this principal along with some interest, and he has to give simple interest, right? So the money that he will return will be equal to this 17,000, and along with this he will be giving the interest also, that is, I guess it was 10%, right? Yes, it was 10% for 3 years. So he will be repaying this money divided by 100. So this will cancel out. This will be 5100. So the money that he will return will be equal to 17,000 plus 5100, that is basically equal to 22,100. So this is the money that he will be returning to the money lender. I hope this should be clear. If you have any doubts, you can just ask in the live chat. So it should be option number C. Okay. I hope this is clear. Moving on to the next question then, if there are no doubts. Yeah. So this is a question of simple interest installments. So you can just use the direct formula that I just told you. You will be able to get to the answer. Try this. Okay, so let's try to attempt this question. Okay, so for this you can use just the formula that I just now told you, that installment is equal to debt into 100 divided by t, that is time into 100, plus series into r. You can just use the direct formula in case of equal installments in simple interest. Okay, so what is the debt? 9675. So this will be equal to 9675 multiplied by 100. Okay, for 4 installments and 5%. So 4 installments, so t will be 4, that is 4 into 100. And if at 5%, but if the installment is 4, then the series will be 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. So it will be 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is 6. So this will be 6. So 6 into r, that is 6 into 5. So this will come out to be 9675 multiplied by 100 divided by 430. Again, you can just use the calculator to do the calculation. So this is 9675 divided by 430. This is 22.5. So this value is coming out to be 22.5. Okay, so 22.5 multiplied by 100, it will be 2250, that is 2250. That is option number C. I hope this should also be clear that this was pretty straightforward question. On the basis of just the formula, you'll be able to solve the questions of equal installment in simple interest. I hope this should be clear so that we can move ahead. Yes, there are no doubts. Yeah, moving ahead to the next question then. Okay, try the next question then. Yeah, try this. Again, a mix of, no, just a simple interest. Just a question of simple interest. Try this question. So the time is up. Let's try to attempt this question. Yeah, so basically in this question we are given that if the rate of return increases by 2%, the simple interest received on the certain principal increases by rupees 20. If the time period increases by 2 years, the simple interest on the same sum increases by 100. What is the interest for 1 year? So if the rate of return increases by 2%, then the simple interest is getting increased by 20. So basically, if the principal and time is remaining the same, it is just the rate of interest is increasing by 2%. That basically means we are getting 2% extra of the principal, right? Because the principal and the time is same, it is just the rate of interest that is increasing by 2%. So we are earning 2% extra of the principal, and that is given us to be 20 rupees. So with just the first information, we can conclude that 2% of principal is equal to 20, right? So 1% will be 10, and 100%, that is the principal, will be equal to 1000, right? So anything, कोई भी चीज होती है तो अपने खुद की 100% होती है, right? So if we know that 2% of the principal is 20, so we can just calculate 1% and then we can come to 100%. So 100% of the principal, that is the principal itself, is 1000. So if the time period increases by 2 years, the simple interest on the same sum increases by 50. What is the interest for 1 year? See, with the second information that is given to us, that if the time period increases by 2 years, the simple interest is getting increased by 100. So with this information, I think you do not want to know that what is the value of principal. You can just calculate the interest for 1 year, because again, if the time period is getting increased by 2 years and the principal and rate are same, and we know that the simple interest is same for all the years. So if for 2 years the interest is getting increased by 100, so every year it is getting increased by 50. That means the interest for every year is rupees 50, right? Because the principal and rate are same. If you are just increasing the time, so the interest is getting increased by 100. That means every year the interest you are earning is 50. Then only in 2 years the interest can increase by 100. So without even calculating the value of principal, or without even calculating the value of rate, because you are just asked to calculate the interest for 1 year. So with the second information, you can conclude that if we are increasing the time period by 2 years and the simple interest is getting increased by rupees 100, so every year the interest is getting increased by 50. And in simple interest, we know that the principal, that the interest is calculated only on the principal and it remains same for all the years. So that basically means that the interest will be 50, right? That is 100 by 2. So I think this can be done with the help of just this logic and without even knowing the value of principal or even the value of rate of interest. Yes, Swastik Pandey, your answer is correct. It is D. This was pretty logical question. I hope this should be clear now. Moving ahead, if there are no doubts. Yeah. Try this. Okay, so the time is up. Let's try to attempt this question. Okay, so a lender claims to be lending money at simple interest. However, he adds the interest accrued for every 6 months to the principal and charges interest on the new principal. If he is charging interest of 25% per annum, what is the approximate value of effective rate of interest? So like we understood that in case of compound interest, the principal is not constant, right? Whatever the principal is, you are earning some interest, and then that interest is adding to the principal, then you are getting the new principal, and whatever interest that you will be now earning will be calculated on the new principal. Unlike the case of simple interest, the principal remains the same. So the second sentence of this question says that he adds the interest occurred for every 6 months to the principal and charges interest on the new principal. Basically means he is saying that it is simple interest, but he is actually doing the calculations on the basis of compound interest. Okay, so we can just use the successive formula like I told you in the initial slides. So because it is for 6 months, right? Yes. So for if per annum it is 25%, then for 6 months it will be half of 25%, that is 25 by 2, right? So the rate will be 25 by 2% every 6 months. And you can just use the successive formula to calculate the effective rate of rate percent, right? So it will be equal to, effective rate percent will be equal to 25 divided by 2, that is a plus b plus ab divided by 100. Okay, so we can just do the calculation now. This will all of course this is equal to 25, and here it is 25 getting cancelled by 4. So this particular term is equal to 25 divided by 4 into 2, that is 8, right? No, it is 16. Okay, so this is 25 by 16. I can do just the calculation, that is 25 by 16. So basically it will come out to be, again I think I can just use the calculator for this, that is 25 divided by 16, that is 1.5625. Okay, so the effective rate percent will be 25 plus 1.5625, that is 26.5625%. That is option number C, sorry, option number D, closest to 26.5625 is 26.6%. I hope this should be clear. If it is, then we can move to the next slide. Yes, Swastik Pandey, your answer is correct. Good going. I think you have got all the questions correct till now. Moving ahead to the next question now. So this question is from installments. Try this. Yes, Swasti Pandey, I just used the effective rate percent formula only in the last question. So the time is up. Let's try to attempt this question. So in this question we are given that Ramesh took a loan of rupees 21,000 from Suresh at a compound interest of 10% compounded annually. He promised to pay back the total amount in 2 equal installments in 2 years. What is the amount of each installment? Right. Like I told you, in case of compound interest, if we need to calculate the equal installments, we can just use that scaling factor concept, that if the rate of interest is given as 10%, then like we know na, A is equal to P 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to power whatever yes we want to calculate. So this is the scaling factor, that is 11 by 10. So for 1 year it will be from 10 to 11, right? If the principal is 10, then the amount will be 11. For 2 years it will be 10 square is to 11 square, that is 100 121, right, in terms of ratios. But we know that the installment is equal, right? He is paying each equal installments, so we can just multiply the first ratio by 11 so that the installments are same. So we will be getting 110 is to 121 and 100 is to 121. So 121 is the equal installment, and for that the principal has to be 210 and the installment is 121. Okay, so for the principal of 210 you will be paying 2 equal installment of 121. This is in terms of ratios, but we are given that the principal, that is the loan amount, is 21,000. So we can just connect this, we can multiply this by 100, right? Yes, we can just multiply it by 100, so the principal will be 21,000, that is given to us. Same way we can multiply 100 here also to get our installment, that will be equal to 12100, that is our installment. Okay, so 12100, that is option number D. I hope this should be clear. Yes, friends, your answer is correct, and yes, RRG9X, your answer is also correct. You got late today, right? So it is 12,100 for this question. I hope this is clear, so that we can move ahead to the next question then. Okay, moving ahead to the next question then. Okay, try this. Okay, so the time is up. Let's try to attempt this question. So in this question we are given that a certain amount of money becomes 4 times after 12 years when kept at a certain rate of simple interest. Find the ratio of net profit after 2 years to the initial amount if the same principal was compounded annually at the same rate of interest. Okay, again let's try to take some values. Let's say the principal amount is 1000. Okay, let's say the principal amount, we are assuming it to be 1000. So it is becoming 4 times. That means the amount is 4000. So if principal is 1000, it is becoming 4 times, so the amount will be 4000. So from 1000 it is becoming 4000. So interest will be amount minus principal, that is 4000 minus 1000, that is equal to 3000. And the time is also given to us to be 12 years. So in 12 years time we are earning an interest of 3000, but we know in the case of simple interest the interest remains same for all the years, right? So every year you will be earning the same interest. So you can just calculate the interest for the 1 year, that will be equal to 3000 divided by 12. So we can just do the basic calculation. 4 into 3, 4 into 7, 2, 24 into 5, 0. So with 3 also this will be 250. Okay, so interest every year will be 250. Now find the ratio of the net amount after 2 years if the initial amount if the same principal was compounded annually at the same rate of interest. So first let's see what is the rate of interest. We know that the interest is 250, so we can just calculate the value of rate, that is we can just use principal into r into time divided by 100, that is interest, right? So we can just plug in the values. We know the interest is 250, so 250 is equal to P, that is 1000, multiplied by r, we don't know the value of r, time is 1, divided by 100. So this will cancel out and this will also cancel out. So r will come out to be 25%. Okay, so the rate of interest is 25%. So in the second case we need to find the net amount after 2 years in case of compound interest. So amount, we know amount is equal to principal 1 plus r divided by 100 raised to power 2, because it is for 2 years. So this is the amount, so it will be equal to principal, we know it is 1000, 1 plus r, that is 25, divided by 100 raised to power 2. Just doing the calculation, it will be 1000, 1 plus this will be 1 by 4, 25 into 4 is 100, so this will be 4 plus 1, that is 5. So okay, 1 by 4, so this will become 5 by 4. Okay, this will become 5 by 4. So 1, of course this is square, so 1000 multiplied by 5 by 4 is square. Now we are asked to calculate the ratio of amount. Okay, ratio of amount after 2 years to the initial amount. Initial amount means principal, so we just need to calculate the ratio of this particular value, that is 1000 multiplied by 5 by 4 raised to power 2 divided by initial amount, that is principal. So we just need to calculate this ratio. I'm just writing it here, ratio. We need to just find this ratio. So 1000 will cancel out, so this will come out to be 25 divided by 16. So in the last slide we calculated 25 by 16, that came out to be 1.5625, right? We did using calculator, so this will come out to be 1.5625. So this should be option number D, 1.5625. Okay, yes, Swati Pandey, again your answer is correct. You are doing good. I hope this question is also cleared, so that we can move ahead to the next question. Okay, yes, moving ahead, because I do not see there are any doubts. Okay, I don't think there are further questions. Okay, so this was the last question for the day. So thanks for joining in, and before ending the session, there are a few updates like I shared with you in the initial slides. So this is about the WhatsApp channel. So if you are preparing for this exam, that is IIM Bangalore's UG admission test, so I would recommend you to join this WhatsApp channel so that you are able to access the free preparation resources that we are sharing with you. Along with that, all the important updates regarding the classes will also be shared in that particular WhatsApp channel. So I would highly recommend you to follow the WhatsApp channel, right? And also we are providing 5 free mock tests for IIM Bangalore's UG admission test. You can just visit this website, that is cracku.in/IIM Bangalore's UG admission test, and you will be able to attempt these five mock tests for free. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we are providing all these sessions for free. So it will be very helpful for you also in your preparation, and it also motivates us to bring such sessions for you. Okay, so thanks for joining in and take care.